The opinions of our panelists do not necessarily reflect those of Bang Zoom Entertainment or Revision3.com. This episode of AnimeTV is brought to you by Netflix and GoDaddy.com.
Welcome to AnimeTV, and it's a big day.
Episode 20.
Episode 20.
You know, this is the second anniversary that you've hosted.
Thanks, Johnny. You're the man. I'm Jonathan Mesa.
I'm Christina V. AnimeTV is the only show of its kind. We review anime, manga, and Asian pop culture.
And today we are reviewing a show called Summer Wars.
We also have a brand new segment for you called Anime News.
That's right. Roy is going to be telling us the latest and greatest in the anime world.
I'm excited.
Let's get to it.
Yes.
AnimeTV, go! For the 20th time, it means free time.
That means free time.
20 times we've told you.
Our panelists are our anime experts. They're going to tell you what they've been reading, watching, and playing.
Mm-hmm.
What have you been doing, sir?
I've been excited to tell you guys this. My time has been filled up with a new puppy.
A puppy?
I have a puppy now.
What kind?
He's a little terrier kind of dog.
I love terriers.
Yeah, he's very, very cute. His name is Potato.
What?
Yeah, his name is Potato.
Oh.
He's adorable. I'll put up pictures for you guys later.
Yes,
Let's
please,
check out what's
please. I
next
want to
door.
see Potato. Let's go.
It's Hema time, so we are talking to Miley.
Me?
Yeah, ladies first, always ladies first.
Oh, I thank you. Well, I've decided to keep on this trend of kind of talking outside of my normal circle of manga.
You're a manga girl.
I am a manga girl.
If you were a superhero, you'd be like, manga girl.
Manga girl. I fight with mangas. I chuck them at you.
Oh, I was going to say, well, it could be cooler if you would actually
Opened it?
You could read it and whatever powers they have.
Oh, that
Kinda
would be
like
awesome.
Deadpool,
Yeah.
where she would read a manga book and she'd go, and she'd be like, okay, I know,
Oh, whatever
I know
is
Kung
in-
Fu. Well, no, not like the Matrix.
That would be awesome, yeah. Is it Kung Fu? I thought he was learning
is it-
I think
jujitsu.
KG started a pilot about that a while
Really?
ago. Yeah.
Oh, right.
What was
the
it,
one with
Mild-Mannered?
Yeah, mild-mannered. It might have been about that. I don't actually remember. I
they
just
write
remember
comic
they had the
books?
coolest shot where the three of them were like walking and suddenly like in slow-mo, like the truck behind them rolls and they look really majestic, but in a geeky kind of way. It was awesome.
Yeah, he kind of looked like an Asian Jack Black way
He
back when,
did,
didn't he?
yeah. And he was like the funny sidekick.
He was.
But anyways, going back to my Hema. So I decided to start this trend of trying to talk about other things that I watch. And it's funny because it's another CW show. It's called Supernatural.
Oh, God.
Shush.
Hey,
Shush.
I agree with you.
Right?
Right.
It's funny because a couple of my friends, I've been trying to get them to watch the show, and a lot of them, especially the boys, tend to poo-poo the show because they're like, oh, it's pretty boys, and they're trying to be all like horror and sci-fi or whatever it is. And I'm like, no, it's great because it's kind of like this alt heavy metal, old school music with, this awesome old school car, the Impala, and this kind of real grungy. They're not afraid to really get into the thick of things, and the fight scenes are really manly in a sense. They're not like, I'm gonna be pretty, but I mean, obviously the two boys that are in it, Jared Padalecki and Jensen Ackles, is very pretty. I won't lie to you about that. But the stories really well thought out. I think it was on a 5-year plan, like my favorite Babylon 5. And
10,000 tons of metal spinning in the cold, dark night. Oh.
it's funny because it's like Eric Kripke, I think you say his name, put the show on a 5-year plan, and it's progressed nicely, and it's really kind of opened up in this. Am I showing some lace? I'm sorry. It's really opened up in this kind of beautiful way.
Oh, I'm supposed to be
like
helping you put it up. I'm sorry. I was taking it down for the viewers. Sorry. Trying to get
Little bit
ratings
of a-
any way we can.
yeah.
My bad.
No, but it's like I said, it's really well written, and the actors, I believe, the two main actors are not afraid to kind of bare their souls, because I feel like it can get really hokey really fast. especially with some of the storylines that they've introduced.
What's your favorite episode? Because I thought it was very Monster of the Week. I saw the one where there was the black sludge inside the building, and it was actually there was,
Oh my
in the vents.
God,
It was
by the
actually
way.
good. It wasn't bad,
Right.
but I was kind of like this.
I
is not
totally
for me.
forgot, but my hemo was supposed to be about Doctor Who. I don't know what happened.
Oh, the new season started up.
Can I?
It
just-
did. It started already.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
new season's up.
I haven't seen it yet.
Can I do 2 hemas? Because
Yeah.
my favorite show right now
The new
is
doctor.
Doc-
The new doctor.
New
I haven't.
doctor.
He's like 5.
His name
Like,
is
no, he's 27.
He
is
looks
it's
like he's
Mike,
5.
Mark Smith or Mike Smith or
Yeah, something along those lines.
I mean, I was
Oh man, you have
sad.
one up on me because I haven't seen it yet.
Oh yeah, I haven't. Like, it's funny because like David Tennant, I've loved him as the
Yeah.
Doctor forever, and he actually corrected it because when Eccleston was doing it, he was credited as Doctor Who, but it's not Doctor Who. It is the Doctor.
Right.
You know, in the show Doctor Who, like because the joke is, you know.
Who are you?
Yeah, like
Who
Doctor
are you?
Who, you know, yeah. But yeah, it's the new guy. He seems really good. There's been a lot of buzz about it already. They've
Are
been
they
showing
one episode in or 2?
I think it's just 1 in Britain. It hasn't officially aired here.
That's why I
in
haven't
the
seen
US.
it yet. Okay.
Yeah, it'll be on the Sci-Fi Channel. But a lot of good
It's not
buzz.
on BBC America.
No, it's Sci-Fi.
Huh. Okay.
Yes,
it actually comes on Sci-Fi first.
it
Huh.
does. Yeah, and you know, I guess they sell it to 2 networks and they make more money.
I know what I'm doing later today.
And you know, we got a little bit of a taste of the new Doctor at the very end.
Milliseconds. Yeah.
Yeah, he was great though, and so I'm really excited. I love Stephen Moffat, who is the new head writer and executive producer of Doctor Who. He's the one that did the wonderful episodes Blink.
That was the best episode ever.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, it had the best line, the wobbly, timey-wimey,
Yeah.
wobbly, timey-wimey, or whatever the line was. It was like great.
Jibbly dibbly.
Yeah, and if you've ever watched like the DVD cut of his little spiel that he does for the thing that is interspersed in that episode, it's amazing. It's like a 10-minute monologue, and he's just like talking to camera the entire time, but he's just amazing. Amazing.
Very well
David
written.
Tennant has a new show. He's shooting a pilot in the United States. I hope it gets picked up because I love him. You know, it shows, I love British programming because a lot of the actors come from actual drama schools and they're really, really good at what they do. And so even if the story's a little bit hokey or the background's a little bit like, you know, like Doctor Who is always about, you know, bad sets and stuff. I mean, it's not as
But that-
bad
you know,
in the new ones, but yeah.
It's kind of like, I mean, to liken it to how Japan and anime,
Yeah.
they could not make something like Star Wars at the time for, you know, their studios. Like,
Right.
we're going to draw it and it's
Yeah.
going to look good.
Yeah.
You know, whereas in I think, British television, they have great scripts, great actors, but the sets are a little bit lacking.
Yeah.
So maybe if they got into anime, they could, well, I'm just saying, you know.
And there's a lot of movement in the whole Doctor Who universe, and I'm really excited. I hope Torchwood here in the U.S., BBC America, is producing with Fox, I believe. I hope it's good. They're bringing the original production team over. You know, Julie Gardner, I think her name is, from BBC Wales is coming over. So it's just a lot of movement happening, and I'm
Yeah.
really excited. Hope it's good.
All right, your double
Sorry,
HEMA is
double HEMA.
over.
Sorry.
Troy,
Okay.
double HEMA.
Well, I don't have
You get
a
2 now. Apparently, it's double HEMA time. It's
Well-
2 for 1.
Well, one, my computer suffered some heavy water damage, so
Oh.
hard drive and everything's wiped. That sucked.
Can I inquire, how did that happen?
Well, a few nights ago, about a week and a half ago, there was a lot of rain, and I guess my
Was it chocolate rain?
yeah,
Sorry.
man,
I had to go there.
that's messed up. That's messed up.
And not just because, no, it wasn't. I would have said it if she said it. Or whatever. Anyway.
Oh, so you said
I
before she
wasn't saying it just because.
Oh, so you're going to make
No,
even
yeah,
more
that-
light
all right,
of the
anyway.
fact that I just wasted
No.
6 months of my life.
I'm
That's
sorry. All right, carry on.
Anime TV makes your sacrifice 6 months not worth it.
Okay, carry on. Sorry. So a lot of rain.
So a lot of rain, and I had this great run. This apartment thing is, so we had a leaky roof, and next thing you know, I wake up, my computer is shut.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh,
Yeah, it cost
God.
me about $850 to get back together. Before that, my HEMA was going to be about Blackest Night.
Oh, okay.
Now, Blackest Night, if you guys don't know, is this huge DC like crossover centered around the Green Lantern Corps. Now, you guys on Revision 3, you probably watched the other shows, so you kind of know where I'm getting at with this. But overall, I think it was one of the best crossovers DC has had in a very long time. My last favorite one was Identity Crisis, which went through a whole gamut of emotions for a lot of characters. I think
Who killed? No spoiler needed.
No. Let's just say that kind of set the foundation of a psyche for Batman that we either come to love or hate. And if you read Hush, you both loved him and hated him. And so we go through all these things, and we get into Blackest Night, which was to me one of the best things because one, we already saw the return of Barry Allen, which was a great thing for them to do.
Once again, to show that Marvel doesn't always not kill their characters, but DC does it too.
Well,
you're never truly dead.
Here's.
I want to live in the DC and Marvel universe. If I get shot in the face, I'll be like, don't worry, I'll be back.
well, here's a Marvel fun fact. Jean Grey was originally supposed to have died. Dead, done, no matter what you said, that she was supposed to be gone. She was brought back through some massive fan backlash. And so when it comes to Blackest Night, we see a lot of heroes come back. I'm not going to tell you who. 5, 4, spoiler tag. Okay. Aquaman, Maxwell Lord, Captain Boomerang, just to name a few. Oh, and Deadman. That's going to work until their story arc, I'm hoping. But Blackest Night was a great idea. Alan Moore didn't like it too much because, he was kind of shocked about how unoriginal the comic book industry is. But if you can make a full-fledged, fleshed-out story off of maybe a sentence he made 25 years ago, that tells you that these writers have some balls, some guts, and can just push out any story they can feel is warranted.
I will say, though, that if anyone was going to say that shit is rehashed or I've seen this before, Alan Moore would be the person. I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
I'll let you say that and get away with it because
his claim to fame was taking inspiration from Charlton characters, and that I'm like, you know what? No, you can't tell us originality. You're great at spinning stories. You're the Forrest Whitaker of comics. Great, tell us.
Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah, Forrest, tell us.
He's going to use that on like his Wikipedia page. I am now the Forrest Whitaker of comics.
Said some black guy in some show about anime.
Yeah.
With a question mark.
Your double hema's done. My 2 hemas are. So as I was in the studio and I was changing, I realized I was missing a button on this shirt, and I'm waiting 20 years if I'm still alive by then. When chest hair and medallions come back, I will be so in, man. I just would be. I mean, because I can kind of rock that a little bit, but since it's not in, I'm going to just go like this and try to, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, that was my first HEMA. Second one is...
At least you don't have hair coming out from, like, the back, the neck. I've seen that. That's really
Yeah,
scary.
the hair vest. So, you're like, I'm going to work. Gonna get my... Anyway, my other one is Stan Lee and Studio Bones, who we love their... I personally love their animation style. It's just, it's slick, it's clean, it's way, 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 way high production value. Stan Lee and Studio Bones teamed up to make a anime called Hero Man, and it's new. There's only 2 episodes out so far. People are saying that the story is a little bit generic, I would like to see this kind of anime personally on Saturday morning cartoons, because if Saturday morning cartoons were less Bakugan battle brawlers and more Hero Man, bring back that, like, the hero that everyone champions for. I mean, even though it's about a kid who finds a broken toy and then this celestial armor that it's just, we've heard it before, but the animation is great, and I would love to have, my kids watch this and be like, yeah, you like Hero Man? Yeah, I love Hero Man. Stan Lee
wrote this.
I don't know if he wrote it particularly, but I know it's his project with Studio Bones. They work together, and it's set in America, so it's also one of those funny things where it's like, what does anime look like, Americanized?
Yeah.
You have cheerleaders, you have like the high school jock, all these kind of
black guy with really big lips and muscles.
Oh yeah, not
not yet.
Is that the one that Crunchyroll is releasing simultaneously?
Yes.
With the Japanese broadcast?
Yes. And you have to be a member to see them at the same time. But anyway, the point of the story is it's something interesting. I'm not going to say it's amazing. Check it out, because there's definitely you see Stan Lee's influence in there, and love it or hate it, it's out there. And like I said, I could see it more on Saturday morning cartoons. But
which means that in Japan it's probably NHK 8 o'clock prime time.
Yeah. But you know what, though? Stan Lee is great.
I don't know. Who knows?
His projects are usually great. I watched Mosaic, and I've seen The Condor, which were great ideas, hero stories, but the animation just stank. So, in my opinion, was just so like took you out of it. It was like if this was done in an anime style, the Condor or Mosaic, I'd be like, yeah. Yes. So I would subscribe to those, but check them out. They're individual movies that are based on Stanley stories.
He's the same man who gave us Stripperella.
I liked Stripperella.
And Nightcat. I just want to point that out
I liked
there.
Stripperella.
And Who Wants to Be a Superhero?
And Who Wants to Be a Superhero?
All right. On that note, so we don't tarnish the great Stan Lee name.
Just imagine Stan Lee creating the DC universe. That's all you have to look up.
Fair enough. Back to you guys.
Coming up next on Anime TV, a brand new segment called Roy's Wired. It's an anime news segment that you don't want to miss, so come on back. Netflix delivers movies directly to your home, saving you time, money, and hassle. As a Netflix Unlimited member, you get DVDs by mail in about 1 business day. Plus, you can instantly watch thousands of TV episodes and movies streamed directly to your PC, Mac, or right to your TV via a Netflix-ready device like the Xbox 360, PS3, and soon the Nintendo Wii console. Watch as many movies as you want. Shipping is free and there are never any late fees or due dates. Keep the movies as long as you like. DVDs by mail, plus instantly right to your TV. Get unlimited movies 2 ways for only $8.99 a month. As a new member and an Anime TV viewer, you can get a free trial membership. Go to netflix.com/anime and sign up now. Be sure to use this URL so that they know we sent you.
So here at Anime TV, it's commonly known that the most knowledgeable anime expert is Roy.
Oh.
Yeah, he really is.
That's a big title.
Oh yes. So this is his segment now to sort of give you an overview of what's happening in the anime world, and it's called Roy's Wired. Check it out.
Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to Roy's Wired. Everything you need to know about the anime industry for the month of May. Let's start with Eric Sherman. Earlier this month, Eric Sherman released a blog on the Anime TV website said, "Anime, rest in peace." In this thing, he cites problems with the failing American anime industry and citing things such as pirates and people don't buy the products. Sadly, this couldn't come at a worse time. For anime mogul Viz Media, these are the guys who brought you Inuyasha's and Naruto's, had just recently released 40% of its workforce, citing streamlining the company for your needs. Yeah, well, good news is still on the horizon in the form of the Power Rangers. That's right, Hayao Saban has recently reacquired the licenses for the Power Ranger franchise from Disney. This is big news, seeing as for 18 years, Power Rangers in America has been going strong for the nation's youth. Inspired by the Super Sentai series, Power Rangers has given us a continual new series every year since 1993. Man, welcome back, Zed. Welcome back, guys. Now, Fanime is kicking off. Again, guys, get your tickets. It's happening in San Jose, May 28th through the 31st, and this is a big deal. Fanime is the largest fan-driven convention in Southern California, literally made for fans, by fans, with a fan mentality. So it's going to be fun for all ages. Now, moving on to the con season, we also have Anime Expo. Now, again, if you do not know what Anime Expo is, shame. It's one of the few industry-backed conventions in Southern California. It's huge, period. From fans from the mainstream to the casual to the truly hardcore and everything in between, this place has everything. From fan-made panels to industry panels. There's nothing you should miss out on. Happens in July. Finally, I have to talk about the greatest con of all, and that is Comic-Con. Now, again, if you do not know what Comic-Con is, I really need to ask a question. Come on, people. It's the greatest con there is. From comic books to anime, from TV to novellas, everything you want to buy, everything you want to see, everything you want to know about upcoming movies and shows is here. So, again, sadly, if you don't have tickets, you're not going to get in. But hey, there's always next year, right? Now, before I leave you guys, let's talk about a few of my favorite releases coming down this month. First things first, Dragon Ball Kai, the redo of Dragon Ball Z with new color schemes, new voice acting, and just a shortened series for pace. It's coming out. In fact, it's out now. Buy it. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Do I really have to say enough? Again, part 1 of the season is out. You should get it. It's awesome. Now, let's talk about Kenichi, history's mightiest disciple. This show is fan service, martial arts, and everything in between. You heard me talk about it before. I give my 3-star rating for it, so pick it up. Season 1 is out in the box set, and also Season 2 Part 2 is coming out. So if you want the complete collection, go pick it up. Again, this is Royce Wired telling you everything you need to know. Check you guys next month.
And when we come back from the break, we're going to be checking out Summer Wars, an anime where a young mathematician kid has to take down an evil virus called Love Machine.
Come on back.
Web hosting from GoDaddy.com includes 99.9% uptime, 24/7 support, and free access to Hosting Connection. The place to install over 30 free applications sure to help you get the most from your hosting plan and website. For 10% off your order, just punch in the code ATV8.
All right, it's Summer Wars time. It's a story about a boy named Kenji, who's a mathematician kind of kid, and the most popular girl in the school invites him to her house, presenting him as her fiance, because she's trying to look good for the family and stuff. And then he ends up having to fight a thing called Love Machine, which is this big virus, and then it all goes into chaos and it works out.
Summer Wars was released on DVD in Japan March. It's getting a UK release coming very soon, so here's the clip.
これは僕に起こったとんでもない夏休み。
ねえ、バイトしない？
え？
募集人員1名なの。小磯健二君。
はじめまして。
私の彼。
え？
ちゃんと幸せにする自信はあるかい？
はあ。ええ、まあ。
フィアンセだと許さねえぞ夏希。無理。
僕が出会ったのは。
ところで婿殿、2世の方はご先祖様はわずか2000の兵力の立ち上がった第一次ムエダ合戦。
個性あふれる大家族の皆さん。はあ。そして世界崩壊の危機だった。
あの写真は間違いなくお前さんなの？
僕は無実です。
諦めないことが肝心だよ。あんたならできるやん。
信じてくれる人がいました。守りたい人がいました。
何を始めようっての？
合戦だよ。
ちゃんとしろ。俺たちがついてる。君にしか解けないんだろこれは。
だからこのちっぽけだった。
頑張れ。
はい。僕の背中に。よろしくお願いします。人類の未来をかけました。
So we're back on the couch and we are reviewing Summer Wars, and I have hemed about this before, and it was kind of, we get to choose what we want to watch, and so since I steamrolled these guys into watching what I wanted to watch and review, so they were forced to be under my spell. So, Summer Wars, what's it about? It was released in August of 2009, I believe, and it won the Japan Academy Prize for Best Animation of the Year in 2010. And I just recently watched it a couple weeks ago, but it's relatively new. It's relatively new. It's short. It's easy to watch. But it's about Kenji, a boy who is a mathematician, and Natsuki, who is this kind of cute girl from his same school, and she invites him along to pose as her boyfriend for her family, and at their family reunion. And so during the family reunion, he answers a text and solves a math problem, and basically what it does is it opens a
skeleton key.
It's like a skeleton key or a backdoor virus that unlocks this entire virtual world that the whole business and world structure is based on. It has passcodes and you know, every kind of power grid code and anything you could think of that would require bank codes, and so basically and then mayhem ensues, and then they have to fix it during the course of the movie with the help of the family. So we're going to pass it over to Mile, because ladies first always.
Oh, why?
Because I have to put you on the spot, because we always want to hear what you say first. So anyway, talk
you
to
know,
us.
it's funny because I do remember remember you specifically talking about Summer Wars, kind of, and I remember how you set it up. You were like, oh, she wants a boyfriend, a fake boyfriend, and then you were like, it was really, I don't remember specifically what you said, but you were saying that it was an interesting kind of like dual world kind of thing going on, and I was like, okay, I kind of remember that, and I started watching it. I have to say, first of all, the pacing of this movie is excellent. They're not afraid to really go to black for a couple seconds, which a lot of people used to fear. And I love how it allows you to reset between...
Right, the and scene moment isn't terrifying.
Yeah. And it actually allows you to kind of process a lot of the information that gets thrown at you. And then, you know, the movie restarts again in a sense. And I love that. And I also love the attention to detail that was there. It was amazing.
What do you mean, like specifically?
Specifically, there's the scene where he's sleeping and then, you know, he gets the text and then he's solving the riddle and then you see the night pass. And basically, there's this plant called an asagao, which is basically, it means, asa means morning and then gao is kao is face. When you put two words together, you put a little thing and
an umlaut?
Umlaut kind of thing, and you pronounce it a little differently, but it means morning face, and basically this flower blooms as soon as sort of the sun starts to rise, so you know that the morning has come.
I totally caught that when I watched it. I know exactly what she's talking about. I'll have to rewatch it.
I know. And you know, I loved how it was like, it was a progressive anime. I feel like you saw the future, because the whole, like, you know, the someone would talk and then all these, you know, conversations would happen. It was almost like Google Wave. Google came up with this new thing. It's still in beta, and basically you're allowed to, it's kind of like a comment thread, but it's like an email, but it's not really. And I really think that's what Google is trying to go towards with Google Wave. When they did their conference thing, which was like 2 hours long, it was really boring on YouTube, sorry. But I watched it because I really wanted to know what Google Wave was about. I watched this movie and went, this is what they should have shown, because I completely understood how that form of communication would probably work.
Right.
And
how it goes back and forth and back and forth.
And I love how I remember 2-3 years ago I was reading, I think it was like Popular Mechanics or something. Yes, I read that. I know.
Who knew?
I think
wow, getting in touch with your masculine side, I suppose.
I know. I was reading Popular Mechanics, and there was this guy who was selling virtual rent space. So he had created a virtual mall, basically. And you could rent a virtual store front, basically, for $1,000 a month or whatever. And it was almost like Amazon and eBay, but it was an actual store that people could visit within this virtual mall.
Right, and that ties into the story because the fact that it's split between the reunion and this virtual world that's created, that's digitized, and it can carry on just for them to...
Yeah, and basically, I love that, how it was progressive, but at the same time, it was a great slice of life. It wasn't boring at all for me. Slice of life of Japan in the summer, because they were doing something, you know, the baseball game that they kept showing? It's called a koshien, which is basically every single high school in Japan has a baseball team, obviously. And you basically compete and you work your way up to the very top, and at the culmination is called a koshien. It's on national television. Most of the professional baseball players come from the top 5 teams of this, and it's a huge deal for these kids. You know, they've like practiced all their lives, and like everything is on the line for them, and to see that happening at the same time.
It was intricate. It was like a small part of the story, but it was intricate because there were characters that really cared about.
Yeah, and it showed like how life does go on, even because when something imminent is happening like that, I'm sure a lot of us won't know. Right. Even in this digital age, we won't know. And you got to see that, and how life goes on even when something catastrophic is happening, you know, elsewhere in the world. And like I said, it's just the little attention to detail. The slice of life was great, and it showed like Japan. Yeah. But old Japan. They show this like old family. Like I've known people who have tracts of land like that, and they're a little different. The way they think. Yeah, that family. It's so like, you know, it showed the different types of personalities. You know, the obachan, which is like the aunties, and like the oji-sans. They're people like that who stand up in the middle of dinner and suddenly start, you know, miming stuff and talking about the family history, and you're like, oh my gosh!
It brought it home for you.
Yeah, I did really.
Roy, what did you think about first looks at the movie?
First looks, the animation completely shot to me. And I was like, why have I felt like I've seen animation like this before? It wasn't until we jumped straight into the internet, the whole Oz world.
Yeah, who was it done by?
Oswald, who was it done by?
No. The animation was done by
Madhouse.
That's why it might have looked familiar to you because that style. Yeah, but go ahead. Sorry.
And so the internet thing. Now, I grew up when I was watching Fox Kids, Digimon, and when Digimon the movie came out, I was like, oh wow, this is awesome. And there's a scene in which Matt and TK's Digimon merge and they fight this huge Diablo-like monster in the net.
Diablo.
And this...
It did look like Diablo.
Yeah. and when we got to the whole verses and the video game bit, I was like, wow, this thing just makes me want to watch it more and more because it was so... The contrast was so ridiculous. Now, for a show that
they almost didn't belong together.
Yeah.
But they did because it was necessary for the plot to advance.
I completely agree. And so when the show just completely starts off, you're looking at Oz, and there's no part of my brain is making that leap that this isn't happening. As I'm shopping on Amazon while reading up on, George Washington, while watching anime, I'm like, well, what do you know? They got us pegged. And so it was cool because seeing that type of computer graphic animation, it looked bad, by the way. It wasn't engrossing, but it looked bad for a way that's supposed to be technology evolving. The characters, though, are what I agree with me. The characters get to me. And the grandmother. Now, I'm gonna equate the premise to this really quickly to the proposal, in which, boy gets pulled into this situation.
I missed that fine feature triumph of the cinema.
The reason why I pointed out is because the grandmother there.
Who's the grandmother?
Betty White.
Oh,
Betty White is this grandmother who chants with the spirits, who fakes heart attacks, who does what she needs to do to keep her family together. And she's ahead of the game every single time.
Wow, that blows my mind. Sorry, I'm thinking of this movie being compared to this movie, but yeah, it makes sense. Go ahead.
This grandmother in this anime, she could prophesize Jesus' return, I believe her. And she is...
I think it would be Jesus' return, but go ahead.
Jesus return.
Anyway.
And she pulls out, I kid you not, this halberd, and she's just going to work, and I'm like, you're 90 years old.
It was awesome.
You're like Yoda.
Yeah.
And
she was like Yoda.
That was
a Yoda moment where you're like, yeah, in the theater. Yeah, it was amazing.
The thing I love the most about this was the fact that they do give you details that in order for Kenji to solve these equations, he is doing it. He has to do it. It takes him hours to do so, right? And the climax is awesome. I'm not going to tell you exactly what happens. Let's just say this mathematician starts doing these equations faster and faster and faster and faster to get through, the obstacles to get through the roadblocks. And so at one point, he just stops. He's just looking at the screen. And we're like, why? Why is he looking at the screen? And his eyes are just orbiting out. You're like, what's he doing? And all of a sudden, he just starts putting the code in.
He was becoming one with the Matrix.
Yeah, you're like, holy, is he just... And I'm just like, wow. Epic.
Yeah.
Epic.
Did you have any problems with the story or any of the characters? Is there anything that you didn't like about the movie as we wrap this up? Because it's apparent that we loved it, yes? But is there anything you had a problem with? Because I had one issue.
Which was?
My issue was she was in love with Wabisuke, her uncle. Now...
That's very normal in
That's not normal!
No.
That's not, maybe...
In Japanese storylines, it's normal for somebody to... And the word like is very different from the word like here in Japan.
She was all like...
I know. But the thing is a lot of it's kind of
It was her uncle.
Well, he was a lot older, and she was probably very young.
That made it even worse. That he'll be like, "Oh, hey," and she's like, "I'm 5."
But I mean, did you? I don't know.
It was her uncle.
No, wait.
Did we?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I maybe I'm just used to this kind of storyline, or it's just it's like sort of an infatuation because you don't have other guys around you, especially if you come from a small town or something. So it's like you go, oh, I really like my uncle, but it's not like a love. That's different. It's like a that's what I would like my ideal man to be, and you attach yourself to. Yeah.
I read that wrong.
And so for me,
that was like her vision of Prince Charming.
No, it was cute to me because when her whole she's sitting there and they're like, well, he's really not from Tokyo University and blah blah blah, and it reminds us of somebody, and she's just getting red and she's like, she gets all embarrassed. that's just how it is, because like the adults really kind of go, haha, it's so cute, and, you know, it's never gonna happen. And then like the young girl who's like, she just never grew out of it because he kind of disappeared from her life, and so she's always had that like for him, and she's never grown up while she's grown up. So I think that attachment is still there, but it's still that 5-year-old
But
attachment.
it's not like a
no,
okay.
that kind. No.
It's more like that.
It's more like a, oh, you know, he's
You're
the
awesome.
older guy, you know.
Like you're just really awesome.
Yeah.
Final thoughts, Roy?
Well, you said gripes. If I had to gripe about one thing in there, I guess it would be the fact that there was something missing, but I understood it in some of the human interactions. And a part of me is like, wow, this would be so much better if maybe it just went a little more cartoony, that we see the reaction. Like the most I've seen it happen was Kenji and them turning completely red on top of it. And even then it was like, I'm like, man, they know exactly what they want to play with. But there are points where I just want to, and this is
You wanted to take it further?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay. Like they went there a couple times, but they only did it like once or twice in the whole entire movie.
Yeah.
In like 2 hours worth, you only saw that going to that extreme funny kind of moment. It was only twice. Yeah. I
twice,
agree with you.
Maybe 3 times. Yeah.
They could have done that a little bit more. I mean, or not had it at all,
because
you wouldn't have.
The humor was definitely there, and it was so grounded and so real. I say pick this up.
Yeah.
Nick, I want to thank you times 10 about it. You can find it online from the Anime Tree. I subscribe to Anime Tree weekly, so there you go.
So we liked it?
Yeah.
Yes.
We liked it, yeah.
Yes,
So
definitely.
Summer Wars, it was directed by Mamoru Hosoda and written by Satoko Okudera.
Okudera.
Yeah, and Satoko and Mamoru. They worked on The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, so it's also another movie. These are short, so, you know, it's a small investment of time, I think, for a great reward.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we agree?
Definitely an animated movie,
Cool.
I'd say.
Oh, isn't it nice when, you know, they all like it and
Yeah.
enjoy?
I can't wait to get my hands on a copy when it's finally released in the US soon, I hope.
Yes, and so we could hear all of your reviews, but in the meantime, let's hear your thoughts on the forums.
And also, don't forget to send in more fan play. It's your opportunity to get involved with this show.
That's right,
So
be
do
part
it.
of the show. Also, fan us on Facebook.
Follow us on Twitter. I'm Christina V.
I'm Jonathan Messa. AnimeTV, go!
And an Anime News.
Anime News with
Anime News.
Okay.
Anime News.
Anus?
A news with Anime News.
Ananews. Ananews!
Anime News with Darker Than Black Roy.
He's the lunch.
It's anime.
Can I say
Watch it.
Can I say that? No. Probably not. All right.
I'll do a shoe at you.
This is the longest.
No.
Bang Zoom.